Hello guys, John Fakery back again with brand new verses. Today it's basically these two. Now, if you can tell what I'm on about, are these two. So it's Strack, if I can pronounce his name right, Strag, and Strax, Strag and Strax. You can see a better picture of him on the front here. Now, this is going to be a completely, utterly different sort of one. It's going to be versus based on the storyline, not who's going to win a fight. I think Strag would absolutely annihilate Strax for one in a fight. I think Strax is war ready, but he's soft at heart. I think Strag would absolutely defeat Strax the way he was in the Mind Game saga. So the story starts off, as we know with every Sontaran, it's born. This Sontaran here, he's basically all fine. He's a normal Sontaran all the way through until this story. Somewhere along the lines, though, this Sontaran, Strax, which is the only picture I can find of him, turns good. He turns as well. He was one of a funny batch. He's a funny Sontaran from a funny batch for some odd reason. That's the only reason we get of this was he was a good Sontaran. The first ever Sontaran since 1974, and the new series was back, and there wasn't one good Sontaran. Now, there was one Sontaran in the Sarg Adventures which did turn on like a person it was working with, but that wasn't like being good. That was just getting his French. This is the first ever good Sontaran, and it should never have happened. But apparently, because it was a bad batch, but then again, sure, they could be like cleaning or something, or filling up engines. They don't need to be fighting. But then again, it's a nurse, and it's helping people. So how did it do that? How did the doctor actually get him to do nursing? So it's something to do with doctors, but we don't really know. This one, we get the whole story. So if you watch the Mind Games, you will know that these three, the drag, I can't pronounce the word. I think it's the Diamonds. Diamonds? No. The Drakens. Drakens? I probably pronounced it wrong. And the female gal, which is, I'm going to call Ace, but it's called the Human, are all in this little, what am I saying? Little bit of variance of cells. And this alien entity, we haven't watched it, then you don't watch this one now, and you're waiting, then don't blame me if you're watching this video. This alien is controlling well, not controlling them, but making them forced to fight. Now, the Sontaran wanted to fight anyways, but they're like, you've got more to fight than this. You've got more to do. There's more to life than just fight. We've got to work as a team. He would work as a team with his Sontarans, not as goodly, but they made him work as a team. And eventually they did defeat the alien. And we did see in the Mind... Is this the Mind Game Saga I'm talking about? First one? Mind Game Saga. So the Mind Game Trilogy. We did see him actually dying from the Rootons. So the Rootons do return in the Mind Game Trilogy. But you don't really see them, but you see their ships. Return. He's telling about his experience, about how he learned to appreciate life. This Sontaran, I'm just going to decide to be good, I'm a rogue batch. Sontarans like to kill everything, This Sontaran did. He even wanted to kill them, but he realised to get out of the situation, a bit like the Sontaran on the Sarg Adventures, he would have to work with them. Well, the Sontaran and Sarg Adventures didn't really work with them. He just plummeted Mrs. Wormwood into the pit for all eternity. That computer thing, anyways. I can't remember what it's called. And that was the end of them. This Sontaran is a good Sontaran, but it has a gun, and it makes no sense to me. This Sontaran has a backstory. It was bad for all its time. You can see it's bad, it's shooting its guns. But for some reason, it turns... this Sontaran turns good. And then that reason... that Sontaran turns good. So in my mind, the storytelling here is, of course, for the Mind Games. The mind game story is far better. I'm not talking about Snapping. I'm talking about each of their stories. Strax was everything. He was a butler. He was, trying to destroy the moon. He was everything. He was doing everything. But why would he turn good? I know he did. He wanted to kill everything. He didn't really like humans, but in the sense of him not like humans, I felt like he did like humans. I never felt like he, had a problem with humans. Strag didn't like humans. He didn't like the Draconians. He wanted to destroy them, but he knew to work with them was it. Now this Strax fella is just, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. He doesn't like. I'm going to destroy you now. Now I know it'd be stupid to hear that all the time, but as I said, this Sontaran has backstory. This, if you can see it, this Sontaran has a backstory. This Sontaran doesn't. Doesn't have a backstory. What is his backstory? His backstory was bad. He's bad all the way through to this story, and then he, changed rapidly because he realised the Sontarans are clever. You got to realise Sontarans are clever. This Sontaran is the most dumbest Sontaran ever. For some reason, and he was a bad bunch. Then the doctor figured out. So why wouldn't the Sontarans shot him or something? Oh, did they put? We know he put him to being a nurse. But how would they know he's good at being a nurse? But then again, the Sontarans don't like being healed and all that. They would rather die in the glory of battle. So what is the point of this Sontaran? What is the point of this Sontaran? Sontarans don't like being healed. So what is the point of this Sontaran healing people? Why wouldn't if he'd been shot? Oh, we don't like being healed. We're not, Sontarans aren't healers. We don't get healed. This Sontaran, warrior, he's a commander. This Sontaran, nurse, doesn't work out. One does one job, one does another job. Doesn't work out. How is there a nurse in a Sontaran army when they say Sontarans do not like being healed? If you've never heard that before, it is 100% true. Sure, it's 100% true. Sontarans would rather die in battle. And you see in the Sarg Adventures, there's a Sontaran with whose scar. Now, if Nurse Strax was in it, which he was not in that one, but he was I'm going to say he was. But if he was in it, he would have healed that scar. So he wouldn't have had a scar. But then again, the Sontarans, I thought they liked all the, scars and all that. So that doesn't make no sense to me. Why would you have a nurse in a Sontaran army? You might have vehicle experts. You might have gun experts. For just second jobs, you might have a cleaner. But a nurse, they would rather die in battle than have a nurse. In my opinion, that's what I've learned from Doctor Who. So I would rather watch this Sontaran impression than this Sontaran impression, which was in 2000. And when did he join? 2011, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 2011. He joined in 2011. Yeah, 2011 he joined. This Sontaran joined in 1997 or 1998. So you can tell which is the best Sontaran here. There's no dialogue. This has a lot of backstory. It has a lot of news story. With Sontaran's story, it's always got to be a warrior. Then it changes. To this new series, we didn't have a problem with Sontarans. We knew they were warriors or commanders or whatever. They were lieutenants or whatever. This now that for some reason they're nurses. Sontarans have never been nurses in their life. They would rather die. Not be nasty, but they're Sontarans. They die. They have blood. They have dew. This Sontaran died because there wasn't a nurse. He actually told through a speaker, like a recording speaker, how he felt and all that because he had a change of mind. And the Sontaran came along. There was another Sontaran there, maybe a warrior or whatever. He came along and he trod on it. And that was the end of that. So can you just imagine, what that Sontaran for, that Sontaran? He thought he decloned, but that's because he had a backstory now. He's got a backstory. Strax, his backstory is he went, he was rogue bunch. Where the other, rotten Sontarans, he was a rogue Sontaran, and they all lived happy ever after. The end. That's it, guys. I can't keep going on about it. It's ridiculous how this nurse Sontaran. I mean, they used to have pole fence in the back. That's the only way they could have air and all that, and food and all that. And now they got a nurse. Why? to treat allies in battle, maybe. That could be another reason why to treat allies in battle, but I really don't understand why would you need a nurse. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this first story video. Remember to please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time, guys. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now. Bye bye.